Jai Swami. My question was, how can one attain to become a genuine and passionate devotee? And then, how can one also remain genuine and not turn into a false devotee?
Very good question. First and foremost, there's two parts to your question, but we want to break it down. First and foremost, how can one attain to become a genuine and passionate devotee? What does it mean to be genuine? Genuine meaning true. Let's keep it simple. And passionate meaning enthusiastic. If you're passionate about playing sports, you're very enthusiastic. You're waiting to play. You want to play, even if it's very hot or even if it's very cold. And if you want to become a true person, you don't want to ever lie. You don't ever want to become superficial. You don't want to show off. You want to remain how you are throughout your life. May you be in school or may you come to Mandir. Sometimes here, kids, when they come to Mandir, I ask them, they're very, very, folded hands and very kind looking. And I ask them, do you behave like this in school? Or do you get influenced by the friends or environment of school? And they say that we get influenced by our friends. We don't remain the same. We change a little bit. Now, we're growing as devotees, so that's not their fault. But as grown-ups, 25 and older, should know that my behavior should be genuine and true in all environments. So your question is, how can one attain to become a genuine and passionate devotee? Well, first and foremost, Man Bhagat, in Bhagwan Swaminarayan's Vachanamrut, Gadada, middle chapter 28th, Maharaj says, my inclination as it follows. If one is a genuine devotee of God, meaning a true devotee of God, then I am a devotee of that devotee. And I do the bhakti of such devotees of God. Bhagwan Swaminarayan is showing that he not likes, not loves, but appreciates and wants to serve those who are true devotees. What is the characteristic of a true devotee? How can I know if I'm a true devotee or not? That's probably a question in everyone's mind, because we finally figured out that becoming a true devotee is something that we should do as satsangis, but what are their characteristics? Well, according to the Vachanamrut, I will only give you answers according to Bhagwan Swaminarayan and Nan Santo scriptures, because those are authentic. Bhagwan Swaminarayan says in the Vachanamrut, Gadada, first chapter 58, you're probably thinking that the answer is going to be something along these lines. Follows the Shikshapatri, does puja every day, is very, very kind-natured. Sure, those are characteristics, and I'm not going to say they're not. But definitely, according to this Vachanamrut, it's going to give you a 360 vision. It's going to give you a turnaround that a true devotee's characteristics are like this. According to Vachanamrut Gadada, first chapter 58, the only means of becoming such a staunch, meaning firm or genuine devotee, is by behaving as a servant of servants of God and by realizing all of these devotees are great and I am inferior compared to them all. Realizing this, he behaves as a servant of devotees of God. All of the evil natures of such a person who behaves in this manner are destroyed, and day by day noble virtues such as Gnana, Vairagya, Bhakti continue to flourish within him. Bhagwan Swaminarayan is a very practical God, Man Bhagat. Bhagwan Swaminarayan spoke the Vachanamrut in such a way that it will not only help the present audience 240 years ago when he spoke it, but the current audience, the current fellowship devotees, and devotees of the future. May it be in 100 years, 500 years, 1,000 years, or 1 million years. But Bhagwan Swaminarayan thought it through all the way. And due to that, it's still remembered that these Vachanamruts are affecting devotees' lives and molding devotees' lives. But saying so, this Vachanamrut has a couple of components. The only means of becoming such a staunch, meaning your question, true or staunch devotee is by behaving as a servant of servants of God and by realizing that these devotees are great and I am inferior compared to them. If you want to become true, you got to become a das. You got to become a servant. Over here in satsang, a servant's characteristic is not what you think in the world. A servant is like a butler, comes and, gives his master, water, serves him whatever he wants, does whatever he says. That's of the world. But a servant is a das that is able to do anything and everything for and by the will of santos and devotees. There is no option of no. I cannot do it. I am not able to do it. There is no question. It's just doing. It's a blind faith. It's just becoming a das and doing. Whatever pleases my bhagwan, whatever pleases my Guruji, whatever pleases my santos, whatever pleases my bhaktos, that's what I want to do. I don't know. I'm not going to think on my own. I want them to think. I want to give my mind to them. As Loyadham Parivar Bhaktos, as we belong to Anadi Mahamukta Swami Shri, Muktanand Swami, this is the very prime characteristic that we should have. Muktanand Swami, why was he so successful? Muktanand Swami, why was he in the eyes of Maharaj the most out of all non-santos and devotees? Why? Why was Muktanand Swami the Guru of Bhagwan and the Shishya of Bhagwan? How did Muktanand Swami become Satsang Nima? How did he get that title? How did Bhagwan Swaminarayan in the Vachanamrut remembered Muktanand Swami? He said, according to Loya 6 Vachanamrut, that if you have any vicious thoughts, Bhagwan Swaminarayan says, if you have any vicious thoughts, clap loudly and chant Swaminarayan, Swaminarayan, Swaminarayan. And also remember Muktanand Swami and chant Muktanand Swami, Muktanand Swami, Muktanand Swami. Out of all the santos, Maharaj remembered Muktanand Swami to remove bad thoughts from devotees' minds. How did he become so successful? Only one thing. Dasatva. Humbleness. Humility. Das na das. Hari ke das hai das, tin ke das hoi kar, chad kapat karna nash, vartana shuddha hoi kar. Das na das thaine, vadi je rahe satsangama. Bhakti teni bhali manisha, rachisha tena rangama. I stay with those who remain the das, who remain humble. And what better example than our Puja Guruji. And the videos that we are going to see right now will definitely open your eyes. A Sadguru who has 50 disciples who are completely surrendered to him. A Sadguru who has thousands of Hari Bhaktos who are completely surrendered to him. A Sadguru who has 8 Sanstas and growing. A Sadguru who is of the Muktanandiya Parampara, doing the most menial, doing the most smallest seva is something that is attractive, rare, and very, very important for us Muktanandiya Parampara Shishya Bhaktos and Santos. Puja Guruji here is making ladus. Before he was also doing a little agriculture. As a Sadguru who has thousands of devotees, what does he need to do this for? What is the reason? There is no reason. One and one only. He wants to please Maharaj. He wants bhagwan to become pleased, and bhagwan is only pleased upon those who have dasatva in their lives. And Puja Guruji's life is full of dasatva. Puja Guruji's life is, you can say, he's the idol of dasatva. Even here, a couple of weeks back, Puja Guruji was here at Loyadham, Mandir, New Jersey. And there was a very big assembly, sabha, and Puja Guruji has this mat that he stands on and does arti, and it had a couple of wrinkles. There were santos very nearby, there was devotees very nearby, there was at least 200 plus bhaktos in the hall. Not knowing that he is of this stature, he himself bent down, fixed his own mat, and got up and did the arti. That very small kriya of Satpurush, if we look at it from just a bare eye, is just, it's just wrinkles in a mat, it's just fixing it, that's it. But if we look at it from a devotee's perspective, if we look at it from a satsang view, that is very, very difficult to do. After becoming a king, who can become a beggar? After becoming a CEO, who can become a laborer? Very difficult. After becoming a president, who can become a normal citizen again? Very difficult. Yet Puja Guruji shows it in his life, and we belong to him. We want to give our life, become more of a das to him, so that he can perform atyantik kalyan, ultimate liberation on us. Nonetheless, I'm reminded of Swami Shri here. Because Swami Shri's life is full of dasatva. And one time Swami Shri was traveling in villages. He was traveling in villages. And what happened was that at that time, Bhagwan Swaminarayan had commanded that his sons, saints, should ask for raw provisions like chokha, rice, grains, whatnot, flour, whatever. And they should go around home to home and ask. And whatever they get, they make and they eat themselves. Muktanand Swami had also his bag, and he was going around. He knocked on a door. A very old, grumpy, mean lady opened the door. Muktanand Swami looked down immediately. And as they say, there is a calling that is said when you want, alms. And Swami had made the calling. And instead of giving grains or flour to Swami Shri, she also despited Swaminarayan Santos. Instead of giving grains or flour, at that time she was performing, she was painting her house. And at that time they didn't have professional paint brushes or anything like that. So she was painting with a potu, or you can say a cloth. What they would do is they would dip it in the paint and then use the cloth to kind of just paint the walls. That old, mean, grumpy lady took that potu and she didn't put it inside of Swami Shri's bag, but she actually whipped it at Swami Shri's face. How insulting. How insulting. Swami Shri's reaction? Closed his eyes, Swaminarayan, Swaminarayan, and left the scene. What did Swami Shri do? Swami Shri, what did he do? He went to a nearby river. He bathed, and after that, he washed that cloth that was of paint. He dried it. And then after the cloth was dried, he broke each thread one by one and then made wicks. You probably know when you do the arti, there's wicks. He made wicks 5 of them from that cloth. At the evening time, he dipped it in ghee, clarified butter, and put it inside the arti. And at that 7 o'clock evening arti, he told the santos behind him, pray for that lady, that she also receives bhagwan and ultimate liberation. Swami lit the arti and did the arti of bhagwan with that potu, with that washcloth that was thrown at Swami Shri. Believe it or not, Swami left the village and after a couple of months returned back. That old grumpy lady was waiting for Swami Shri's return, and through a devotee, she found out that Swami has returned in a very appropriate distance. She did the darshan of Swami Shri and told the devotee that please ask Swami Shri to forgive me. It is my arrogance. There's nothing else I can give or do, but please tell him to forgive me. I've done a very great sin. Swami Shri, behaving like he didn't know anything happened after receiving the message, he said, may Bhagwan do your kalyan. That old grumpy lady became a devotee of Bhagwan Swaminarayan and attained Akshardham that very life due to Swami Shri's pratna, due to Swami Shri's tolerance, due to Swami Shri's compassionate nature. That is our Muktanand Swami, the idol of Dasatva. And we have received Muktanand Swami. So, Eric Bhagat, this is the first part of your question. Sorry, Man Bhagat. And the second part is, how can one remain genuine and not become a false devotee? Well, Bhagwan Swaminarayan in the Vachanamrut says, Gadada middle chapter 39, fourthly, I come to know of any man or woman that is pretensely offering bhakti to God merely as an outward show, but that person is not a genuine devotee of God, then my mind is not pleased upon seeing such a person. Nor do I even feel comfortable with that person, because my mind only becomes pleased when I see a genuine devotee of God, and I am only comfortable with such people. Bhagwan likes only those who are real and not artificial. So the solution for your first part is dasatva, and the second part is don't do anything that Bhagwan will not like. Bhagwan does not like, you can say, artificial devotees. So then just think that I don't want to become artificial. I want to stay real. I don't want to show that I'm doing something when there's a crowd, but I want to show Bhagwan, even if I'm alone, that I'm doing the same in front of anyone or even if I'm alone. And just as a joke, don't take this in the wrong way, but this is just to make you humor. Every year we have Sibirs here, and kids, we have them perform Mansi Puja. So we have them close their eyes, 6-year-olds, 5-year-olds, even in this Kali Yuga performs Mansi Pujas. And we had one of our devotee bhaktas, Jeet Bhagat from New Jersey, perform a Mansi Puja, but he did it in a little artificial way. He's young, you can't blame him. But it's a little humorous. But if anyone who's watching is out there is one of these kinds of people, then be careful. Let's play that video right there of Jeet Bhagat doing Mansi Puja in Sibir.
Muktanand Swami pilihannya puja Kaduri બધા સદગુરુઓને પણ પીરસ્યું છે. મહારાજને પ્રાર્થના કરું છું, મહારાજ તમે જમાડો. મહારાજ જમાડે છે, હું દર્શન કરું છું.
This is Jeet Bhagat just enjoying a Mansi Puja by kind of, peeking a little bit. Is anyone watching, or is a video coming around? It might can be in one of the bloopers. He's just a young devotee. He's not doing anything artificially. He's very young. But anyone out there that may be doing this kind of artificial bhakti, Bhagwan does not like it. So to recap your question, Man Bhagat, to remain genuine and passionate, remain humble, and to not become false, just think that Bhagwan does not like false devotees, then I do not want to become a false devotee. I hope that answers your question, Man Bhagat. Is that satisfactory for you?
That's Swami.
Very good. So we are now out of time. This is our live Q&A webinar. If you want to get the chance to be on a live Q&A webinar, make sure to email us at loyadhammandir. We'll definitely contact you and we'll get your questions. Age limit is not a restriction, but you can come on, get a chance to ask a question, and also, get it answered and actually, make it practical in your life.